I recently did a video project where I was filming mostly on action cameras, a lot on action cameras. Not so much this DJI Pocket 3 because I just got this and I haven't really used it yet. But these two, the GoPro Hero 12 and the Osmo Action 4, I've filmed a lot of content on this, a lot of footage, and I ended up needing not the largest cards, but the 128 gigabyte cards. And this was a multiple day, a few week project, and I just went through a ton of media every day. And currently, these SanDisk cards are the ones that everybody seems to get. These are oh, you can't really see this on this camera. But these are the SanDisk Extreme Plus UHS-I card. And the transfer speed, I think, is around 130 or 60 megabytes per second, something like that, with this card. Can't really focus on, but you've seen at least the color. You can recognize the colors of this card. So if you shoot a lot with these action cameras, they take micro SD cards, and this is probably something you have or you've seen. And when you're putting it into your computer, you either need to have a USB dongle like this hub that has micro SD, or what you do is a lot of times these comes with adapter cards, SD cards. So you would slip it in. This is by Samsung, not SanDisk, but you would slip it in the card, and then you would plug this in your SD card slot, and that's how you would transfer the footage. So when it comes to these cards, these are perfectly fine for even the highest data rates that these cameras can record to. It's fine. The issue that I ran into is when I need to offload the footage from the micro SD card into my computer and transfer it onto hard drives. And I use SSD hard drives when I'm in the field. I use SSD hard drives like this. These aren't the 2000 megabytes per second drives. These are like around the 1000 megabytes per second. This is from Crucial, this is SanDisk, and this is Samsung. And I would transfer the footage using a MacBook because I'm a Mac user. I had a MacBook Air, and through USB-C, I would transfer it all to these drives. And even though the USB-C on the MacBook Air is a very fast transfer speed, and these SSD drives are very fast, even though they're the first gen, they're not the 2000 megabytes per second. The bottleneck ended up being these cards. Now, this only applies to people who require or would like the convenience of speed, of offloading footage from these micro SD cards to your hard drive or to your computer as fast as possible. So what I was using were dongles like this, like these. These are just ones that I've had for a while. I don't know I'll put all these products in links below if they're still available. But this one is like a 40 something dollar at the time when I bought it, and it had SSD and micro SD card. But this transfer speed is only like 160 or 100 something. It's under 200. So I wanted to change that, and I wanted to change that on two levels. So the first level is the card itself, because this card, these V30 cards, they're just not fast enough. So I wanted to make the card faster, and when you try to go up in the speed quality of cards, of micro SD cards, they get quite expensive. So the ones that, I looked at a lot of them, and it was just a lot of them were out of my budget, except for ProGrade. The ProGrade, this is a set of 128 gigabytes. When you get the ProGrade, comes in its own SD card adapter, which you need this SD card adapter because it has the two levels. That's the UHS-II. See those two chips there? One level up there, one level below it. That means it's faster speed. So if you look at the first UHS-I, it's only one level of chips. This is two, so it's faster. And then in here is the micro SD card slot. This is it's a V60, and it transfers up to 250 megabits per second. UHS-II. And even on the back here, you can see there's two levels of chips, and then the UHS-I is just one level of chips. So the transfer speed of the card itself was the first bottleneck. And now that I have this faster card, I can put it into the DJI Pocket, the Action, the GoPro. If I were doing drones or anything that uses microSD cards, I am now capturing it on a card that's really fast. So it doesn't really affect the recording, because you could still record with the UHS-I cards and not really notice I highly doubt you would notice a performance difference when you're capturing until GoPro or DJI start doing RAW recording. That's when, or ProRes, that's when I think you're going to need a UHS-II card. But as it is now, none of them really need a UHS-II card, because you can get a UHS-I and find the same usability and speed. So I recorded on this card, and then the second step is to getting a card reader that could read faster than that 160 megabyte limit that those other dongles have. And then to get that, I bought two products here. And the first one is this Lexar Professional micro USB and SD card reader. This is a USB 3.2 Gen 1, but on the back here, it says it could read transfer speed up to 312 megabytes per second for both the SD and micro SD, reading UHS-II. Here's what it looks like. This is one, I've seen a few different card readers. This is the more affordable option. There are more expensive options that have better ratings. This wasn't rated as high as them, but this was had decent ratings, so I purchased it. It's you cannot detach the cable. The cable's built in, but it's short, it's small. And here you have a SD and a micro SD, but it can read that UHS-II. So I tried this, and it was fast. I noticed the difference, and I recommend this product. It gets a little hot, too, when it's transferring that fast. And then I bought one other product because I thought this might not work. It does work, so I'm going to keep this for one of my computers. But then I got the CalDigit Soho dock. So this one is quite expensive when it comes to dongles. Dongles are usually within the $60 or less range. Once you go above 60 and you start hitting 100 something, that's when I think it's out of the price range for certain people. And this is what the dock looks like. It has a detachable USB-C cable that comes with it, but it looks like this. It's really small, or at least it fits in my hand. Well, here's the size of a GoPro for comparison. And this one it's not just the SD card reader. It has multiple IOs. So on this side, you have a display port, HDMI 2.0, and then that's a USB-C for the computer, I believe. Oh, no, that's just an extra USB-C. Then you have a USB-C. This one goes to the computer. And then on the fronts here, you have another USB-C, a USB-A that also accepts 10 gigabits or gigabytes per second. And then you have here the UHS-II for both micro and the standard SD card. This has been out for a while, and it's always been on the high end for these kind of products. But I trust CalDigit. I have many CalDigit products and hard drives. It's a brand that I trust. This is highly rated as well. And upon using this, whether I'm using the SD card or the micro SD card, it is faster. And this is rated at, I think it's the same as the 312 megabytes per second, which is standard for UHS-II transfer speeds. Using this ProGrade card, the 250, and then either the Soho dock or the Lexar, I have now increased my transfer speed times from after I'm done filming, when I'm dumping footage. If you're not shooting a lot of stuff, a lot of media, this is not an issue for you. If you have a lot of time from when you film and you're transferring, if time is not an issue for you, then don't get this stuff. This is extra. But if time is precious or you need the speed, you want to offload footage right after the shoot before you leave set. This is something that I think is going to improve the speed by double if not more. I'm really surprised how fast this is. So that's why I'm investing into this kind of tech now. As things get faster and these action cameras start offering higher capacity codecs, which I think that's the direction everything's going. You're going to want faster cards, and these cards are going to come down in price. These card readers, they're going to be more manufacturers that are going to come out with faster card readers, and there's going to be more options. The prices are going to come down. But if you're looking for this right now, this is what I recommend. This is what I bought, and the ProGrade is the SD card.